And I wanted to come today and just to give you a few thoughts from a novice on what is happening right now. As we have seen, many of you have watched that, we have seen that there is a rough weekend that the U.S. have had in terms of the stock market kind of crashing over the last few days, beginning after the Fed had their meeting last Wednesday, and just continued on Thursday, Friday, and we see where we are right now. So what was going on? I opened up Robinhood yesterday, and there was a freeze overall by Robinhood in terms of allowing people to withdraw their cash. When you have a situation where you are looking to get access to your money to sell stock and you're not able to do so, it's naturally going to cause more people, I believe the term is contagion, to step away and to make sure that they're pulling out their cash even further. Once things open today, I expect more people are going to do their best to withdraw cash, to cause even bigger of an issue than what is it that we've seen so far. So I had a few thoughts here on what is going on, and I just wanted to bring those things forward. So first and foremost, again, this event that happened feels like it's the start of something big, and most people who have been following are aware that the U.S. debt is out of control at $35 trillion. We're adding just about $1 trillion in debt every quarter for the most part. We have a huge spending gap in terms of what is it that we're producing and what is it that we're consuming. Um, and just roughly what can we expect on a later term. But for right now, we're seeing just a a realization. I think that many people have been telling themselves that what they're experiencing, what they're thinking, is not real. But it is truly at a time right now where we can see that this is going to begin to be something serious. So with this stock market crash, it begins a lot of things that we're going to see. I've been saying for the longest time that the Federal Reserve is kind of stuck between two places, either a Great Depression or they're stuck between a hyperinflation. And they have been able to spend the last 2 years not really doing anything, but it was always going to be a situation where something was going to break. And it's when you work and live in a global environment, a global economy, it's just a matter of time before something like this happens. The Japanese, the Bank of Japan had been dealing with a lot of issues on their own, and um, we use the U.S. Treasury as kind of a way of getting cash to people, right? So they are having a crash in their economy, so they go out and they pull a lot of their investments out of the stock market, and that money being pulled out really caused a serious action the last few days, and now it's a kind of a race to the bottom. It feels like this is going to have serious implications in terms of jobs, in terms of layoffs, and we who are watching need to make sure that we're preparing ourselves. I think this compares very heavily to what happened in 2020. Um, this is going to be the kickoff event for the most part of a lot of chaos. And eventually, what happens, the details aren't as important, but in terms of what it is that happens, the big events, the world is going to be faced with a serious moment where they are facing a huge depression worldwide. And during that time period, the US government is going to step up and they're going to write a check to kind of balance everything off. That's what happened in 2020 when we saw trillions and trillions of dollars being printed, and that's going to happen again. And what happens generally, the more further down this happens, the more the bubble is inflated, the higher and higher the number goes. For the longest time, I've been thinking, I said, like, $20 trillion was going to be needed to accomplish and to kind of kickstart everything once again. And as I'm watching, just the start of this, nothing has really even happened yet. And, how high, I wonder now, is that number going to have to be? Is it going to be 25 trillion, 30 trillion, $40 trillion? It's going to be needed to write and to kind of to bail out the system, as everyone is in need of cash. We've seen record numbers of credit card debt. We see record number of asset prices. You look up to Canada. Canada is their housing value has gone as high as I think median price is currently like $800,000, and here in America we're at $400,000 in terms of the median price home in the country. So while many people are sitting back and they're expecting there to be a crash um, in the cost of then the cost of the assets in terms of homes, in terms of cars. Yeah, cars for sure are going to, going to crash. There's a whole lot of those, but in terms of housing, they're just the process to build housing just isn't a great one, right? So we currently don't have a lot of entry level homes. We have many millennials, many Gen Zs, many Gen X who are fighting for those homes. We also have investors who are fighting for those homes, and also, people from foreign nations who are also looking to place their money in somewhere safe. So the entry level home is very difficult to build, and unlike the stock market, where you just put your money in and watch it rise, this is a situation where you are investing your money into something, and the process to build a home is 10 months. It's to buy the land, to get the permits, to do the work, to lay the foundation. That you're looking at between 10 months and a year and a half, maybe even more than that. So the supply that is needed is just isn't going to come. And with that money being printed at some point during this particular cycle, the cost of these homes are just going to go outrageous. In my local locality, the number of homes that are available in the city is about like 70 homes, or 35, between 70 and 35 homes total. I think it's about 40 or 50,000 people here. And once these prices go parabolic such as that, there's most people are going to take their things off of the market. What we see in New York, what we see in California, I believe, is what's going to happen in most of the country, and we're going to just see a serious separation between those who have and those who have not. So, what I'm looking to do during this time period is to find land, for the most part, because many people have not thought about it. Like it's we're almost better at some point of just finding land, maybe getting an RV and putting it on there and learning to grow our crops. With the next, we've seen previously what inflation did to the country, how prices rose so sharply. But the next amount of money is going to be printed is going to be even greater than what is it that we have expected. And as a result of that, the inflation that comes along with it also will be something that we haven't seen before. So the cost of everyday goods, the cost of things at the markets are going to be outrageous. And many people are going to have some real suffrage that they're going to see. For us in America, it's strange, but for other nations, they've seen it before, where their value of the dollar against their country's dollar compared to the U.S. dollar is very, 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 very small. In countries like Liberia, West Africa, you'll have like, $200 to one U.S. dollar and things like that. So, just some thoughts there. Uh, yeah. So again, the number is going to be shocking. I think that we can expect that we're going to see, like you said, something above $20 trillion is my thought in terms of the 3 year, 4 year process of all of the money that's going to be spent. And it's going to change society as we know it. There's going to be a lot of unrest. There's going to be a lot of behaviors that are going to come about from it. And I think as we see so much money being printed, the number of people who are going to desire to come to America is going to explode, because they're going to see how much wealth is available. In in reverse, in comparison to where it is that they are in their nation. We're going to see tons and tons of people looking across into the country, and that is going to continue to drive up the price of living and things of that nature. So I'm going to be, coming up and giving these live chats in terms of this, just talking about different thoughts on what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking in terms of, where we currently are. But whether one person watches or 100 million people watch, I think it's just a time right now where we need to prepare ourselves, prepare our families. I've been trying to tell people pretty regularly about this situation, but most people just want to step over the topic. So for those of us who have been able to purchase homes, for those of us who have been able to to buy different assets, I considered at one point during this last year of selling my home, but I'm like, we all know what the government is going to do. We understand that they have no appetite to see a 2008 scenario once again where the value of homes is chopped in half and things of that nature. So knowing human nature, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen, but the V Vendetta movie, he talks about how he believes he understands what's going to happen. I'll put the link to that particular scene here in the description, and you guys can watch that. But knowing human nature, we all understand what it is. Politicians' natural desire is to remain in power, and them seeing a historical depression is not good for their reelection campaigns. Those people who are funding them are not in a place where they have a good appetite in terms of desiring that you know their money is depleted as a result of a depression or something like that. So money printing is definitely going to be the way, and we'll see exactly how it turns out. What are your thoughts on this? Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.